conversation with character to reflect on my past and present, aware of character defects.
I'm sorry.
The passion, the power, the purpose of unwoven recovery, unity, service, 1 year token.
The most prestigious network in the land.
This is Character Asked It. You already know Character Did It. I'm here with Stacey with Behind Bars. She started a platform that is it's super interesting and it takes a lot of hustle, and I want her to tell us all about that. But let's start at the beginning, Stacey. Where are you from?
So I'm from upstate New York. I'm around the Albany area.
Okay. And do you mind me asking how old you are?
I'm 37.
37. What was growing up in Albany like?
Albany. I don't know why people move here, honestly. All the time people come in. I own a pizzeria too. That's what I do for my career, besides for true crime. And I have customers come in all the time and they move to upstate New York, and I'm like, why? A lot of people move from California, Florida. I'm like, I want to move there. Why are you moving here? There's nothing good here, except for fall, of course.
Grass is always greener, you know.
Yes.
What'd you do after high school?
So after high school, it's crazy. I do true crime now, but I went to school. I was going to be a lawyer. That's what I originally wanted to do. And then I hated it. I changed my mind. My cousin's actually a lawyer. He loves it. Me, I'm not so much. It was just too much. I did good though. I got great grades and everything. It just wasn't for me. So then I decided I wanted to do criminal justice. I actually took the NYPD test. I did really good on it. I was supposed to take the physical ability test, and then I just decided no for that. And then I went into medical. I actually worked at Albany Med for a little while in trauma. And I worked in the ER. Sometimes I would float there, and the jail, which was so intriguing to me because all the criminals were there, of course. And me and the coworkers, you could always see what they did. And at that time, I was always looking up what they were in there for. And I don't know, I always worked there in that area of the jail. It's crazy. You walk into this tiny room and there's bars, like an actual jail that you have to walk in. And then you go in this room, you have to check in. You're supposed to give them your cell phone. And then there's a steel door that opens for you to get in there. And I worked there for a while. And then now I'm a business owner.
Yeah. How did you get from there to owning a pizzeria? I'm super curious.
I know, right? It's crazy. So I worked at Albany Med for a while, and then I ended up, one of my best friends at the time, he managed a pizzeria, and I was taking a break from the medical situation and ended up going there, and now we own it.
Wow, that's amazing. How long have you owned it?
4 years now.
When did you start this platform, and tell me all about it?
So I started this around 4 months ago. I'm still a baby to it, I know. Still little to it, but I started it 4 months ago. I've always been into true crime.
Tell them what it's called.
It's Behind Bars. So my Instagram is Behind Bars, and then that little downward slash. Because I do true crime that's happening right now, and I also do missing person cases and unsolved mysteries. So Vanish is for the missing person cases, and then Behind Bars is for the current cases like Ryan Koberger, Charlotte Sena. She's on both of them because it turned into something more than that. And all the cases that, you see on the news. Yeah.
When did you start it? How long ago?
4 months ago.
You're passionate. You can see it in your posts. I mean, you go to locations, you post. I mean, you stay up to date, more up to date than most news stations.
So I have to tell you, did you see Danilo Cavalcante when he was on the loose?
I saw your post, yeah.
He escaped. So I did not sleep the entire time this guy was on the loose because I wanted to be up. If there was any breaking news, I wanted to know it right away. And I actually had people on the ground that actually live there that were telling me information. And when he got the gun from that house, I knew it before the media knew it. And I was on it, because the media, it was the middle of the night. The media's, they weren't on top of it, and I had it ready and posted right back.
What drives you to do all this?
So actually, started being interested in true crime, it goes way back. I didn't have platforms till recently because the girl I actually do my lashes with, she's like, you need to do platforms for this. You're so into it and you should be doing YouTube, you should be doing Instagram. And I was like, wow, that's a great idea. I should. So, but this all started back when I was in college in 2005. What happened, I have my own case, and that's what actually made me intrigued by true crime and criminals and serial killers and murderers and, everything that involves true crime. Back in 2005, when I was in college, my aunt, I was staying at her house in the summer because my mom was in between moving. And so it's a long story, but it's a crazy story. This is why. I went to the movies with my ex-boyfriend at the time. And in the middle of the movie, it was the drive-in theater, Malta drive-in theater. And I just had a bad feeling I needed to leave. It just, when you get one of those just weird feelings, right? And you just know something's not right. So I had a bad feeling and I went back to my aunt's house where my family was. My brother was there, my mom, my aunt, and my grandmother. And I walked into the house and I saw a pair of construction boots just sitting in my kitchen. And I'm like, that's not my brother's. He doesn't wear construction boots. Who the heck are these? So then I hear a loud thud and I'm like, no. And I've always been check everywhere before you go to sleep, double checking the locks. So I'm searching the house. I want to know what this is. So I searched a few rooms and then I got to my aunt's room and I'm like, there's weird shoes in the house. Whose are these? They're not my brother's. And she's like, it's all right, go back to bed. Thank God I did not go back to bed because my family and myself could have been murdered. So next I go into the bathroom that is directly next to my aunt's bedroom. And I pulled open the shower curtain and there was a man sitting in the shower. Yes, he was sitting in the shower. He had long blonde hair, partially balding, huge glasses, a red and blue checkered suite, jeans on. I had his description to the T. The police couldn't even believe it. I even guessed his age right. And he lunged at me and I screamed the most loudest scream ever. I ran out of the bathroom, bounced off the wall because I was so terrified. And I ran into my aunt's bedroom, locked the door behind me and screamed, call 911, there's a man in the house. Call 911, there's a man in the house. That's all I could get out of my mouth. So then my ex-boyfriend at the time, I hear him yelling and confrontation out there. And like an idiot, I don't know what, people do this in the movies, I don't know why I did it. I opened the door as if I'm going to save his life, okay? So I'm running out there. But luckily the guy, he ran. So my ex went to grab him because he was coming towards him at the time. And he actually got away. The guy grabbed his boots on his way out, grabbed his boots. And and he took off into the woods. My aunt's dog chased after him. And this is, I just realized with this case that's happening with me now, why so many police were at the house when this happened. And I'm just terrified because of it. So I'll get to that in a second. So tons of police showed up. A search helicopter came, search dogs. The whole house was covered with police. I'm telling you, the whole neighborhood had police cars. And I'm like, it's a burglary, right? There's a guy in the house, but I don't know what, I don't know. There were so many cops there. So they searched for a while. I clung to one of the officers. I was so scared. I was like, please don't leave. And he goes, don't worry. He's probably miles and miles away by now. Okay. So then they searched the house. They cleared the house. They were like, we're going to search the area now and we're going to call you if we find him. So they call me at 3 a.m. in the morning and they're like, we need you to come down and identify this guy. They're like, stay far back, but just you need to identify him. Guess where they found this guy? 2 seconds away at the gas station on the corner of Geyser Road and Roland, which there's significance to that street in a second. I'm going to tell you why. So they found him. He had a crack pipe on him. He had my mom's credit card, checkbook, and address book, which it didn't register to me until yesterday when I was talking to my mom because I'm trying to connect the dots with all these cases that happened in that area. And the guy had already robbed my mom. He was walking down the hallway where my whole family was sleeping after he robbed them because the bathroom is all the way down at the end. So was he planning to do something worse? Was he going to kill my family? Was he going to I don't know what he was planning to do. So I go to the police station a month later and had to pick up my mom's stuff and I wanted to go with her. I wanted to ask the police questions. I wanted to be like, has he been ever convicted of murder or rape? And so I asked them, And he goes, Stacey, all I can tell you is he's a bad, dangerous man. He has a rap sheet a mile long, and thank God he didn't get a hold of you. And it never registered with me, but he ended up being a carny from the carnival. That's why I haven't gone to carnivals till recently. I've been terrified. A carny, and it gets worse. He's wanted across the United States, this guy, in 8 different states, the police told me. So yeah, they caught him. He went to jail. 3 months ago, I started researching on this guy. And a month before he broke into my house, he broke into a house and there was a family sleeping there. The dad caught him and he ran into the kid's bedroom, right? And locked the door. The kids were in the bedroom. Yeah, terrifying. Little kids too. The kids were in the bedroom and he stepped on one of the kids' faces, jumped out the 2nd story window and left a boot print. Mind you, the boots that he had on when he went to that house are the same boots he had on when he broke into my house. So now they have his actual boots and footprints to compare. So he got in trouble for all of this, plus the other 8 states. I looked it up and he's had a very bad past, and he actually he got out. So I pray he doesn't see this video, but he's out. And right after he got released, he assaulted someone by knife in a park to RAPE. I don't know if you can bleep that out, but yeah, he tried to rape someone by knife. So now we've got the Charlotte Sena case around me, and I started digging around unsolved cases that are in my area, in that area where, she was found, because Charlotte Sena was found literally 2 seconds from where my family lives and where that happened. So I'm looking at cases that just happened, and there's many cases in the area that are still unsolved. So a week and a half before that guy broke into my house, there was a girl that was abducted and murdered on the corner of Rowland Street and Geyser Road. Yeah, and so that's where it all intertwines. So I don't know if he was in the area that time. I don't know if it's connected, but also there was another girl, Jennifer Hammond. She went missing in 2003 around the same exact area. And then there's also another girl. I actually just realized it. The media hasn't even caught on yet. And I was just telling my last girl, I'm like, I need to be quick because I've just found out this information. And they just already started releasing about Jennifer Hammond and Christine White. I'm like, I got to get this out here. So I was doing some research, and there was a woman called Suzanne Lyle. She went missing from Albany. And I just looked it up, and guess where her mother lives? On Rowland Street.
No way.
And yeah. So this girl's missing from Rowland Street. Her mom literally lives in the smack dab in the middle of my uncle and my aunt. They both live up there. And then Craig Ross, he lives a few minutes down the street from all of this. So I don't know if it's crazy. So the bodies were found in Greenfield, which is right down the road. And that's where Craig Ross's ties to as well. But it's all alleged. The police are looking into it, and I'm not sure if it could have potentially been him, if it could be the guy that broke into my house, or if it's some serial killer on the loose, which is crazy. We have a few other cases, actually. Some girl went missing from the Racino. She's still missing. That's just right in the same area. Another girl, she was abducted on Caroline, where there's the clubs in Saratoga. Her body was found over in that area. And then there's a girl that she went missing. She's a poor little young girl. She is Samantha Humphreys in Schenectady. She went missing, and her body was found in a shopping cart in the river over here. All very close. There's 2 other cases that are still unsolved in Charlton where people got killed. They're all within consecutive years. And then the biggest one is I went to Scotia High School growing up, and then I switched to Shen. And Craig Freer, that case, he went to my high school and we had a class together. We actually had the free study hall period together. So we would joke and chit chat back and forth. And in June of 2004, he vanished as well. So there's a lot of missing cases.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. So they've reopened the case for the 2 girls. No one's caught on yet. So I'm sure the detectives, of course, have, but that the girl from Albany lived on Rowland, so I'm pretty sure it's the same. I actually did some digging yesterday, because that's what I love to do, and I found out that there's 2 convicted pedophiles that live right on the corner of that area. So I don't know if they're tied to it, but one actually lives 2 houses from my aunt, which is scary. Yeah.
How does this affect you personally, all the research you do? I know you're passionate about it, but at some point when stories don't turn out well, how does it affect you?
I don't sleep. It's tough to sleep. Like, I am traumatized still from what happened to me because it was in the middle of the night. My family could have easily been killed. It's when you see all these cases, especially when, Charlotte Cena, that case just happened where I live, you get nervous. I mean, no one here knew if the kidnapper is going to strike again. The lines for school drop-off got extremely long. No one was sending their kids on school buses. I mean, everyone was definitely stressed. And as myself, all the true crime, I mean, I deal with it every day. I see all the content. I think I'm kind of immune to it. However, once that case just happened here, it really hit hard. I'm not immune to it. I think it's absolutely terrible. It's horrifying. I feel horrible for the families. But once it hits here and it's actually like, one of my friends, that's her family that happened to. I just, and it makes it hit harder that, it can happen in your own town. And it's scary.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The unique thing about what you're doing is it's you're passionate about it. It's an amazing thing. And at some point, well, first of all of these cases deserve attention. And I think that's part of what drives you. Your case deserved more attention than it got. It should be more well known how often this happens because it would be easier to spot the signs.
Right. Yeah.
What you're doing, you just started this a few months ago. Your following isn't big or anything like that, but it's getting bigger every day. And the thing about it is there's going to be some national story that you're breaking first at some point. Mm-hmm. That you're going to it'll go viral at some point, and that's when you'll really be able to have an impact with providing all of this information, this knowledge, and also kind of being a forefront person to if there's information out there, you're gonna be the first person to have it.
Right. Yeah. Like with the case of Charlotte Cena, I had found out through people who live here, of course, because that's where we're from, where the house was. So I was on my way up there to, film content, and I saw the ambulance with tons of troopers going down the Northway to bring her to Albany Med. Unfortunately, I was driving. I couldn't grab my phone at the time, but, I see the stuff. I like with this case, not every case, obviously. I only live where this happened, but, with Cavalcante, I stay up all night because I want to hear it first.
What have been the biggest obstacles that you've had to overcome?
Doing true crime?
Yeah. Or getting this platform started, or life before that too.
I have to admit, doing true crime, it is very, very, very time consuming. You have to be quick. That is the one thing about true crime is if you want to do it, you need to have your stuff up very quick, and you have to be 100% accurate as well, because this is cases that you're putting on social media. It's definitely hard to juggle. I have a career outside of this as well, to juggle that, my family, just life in general, and do true crime. But I'm figuring out how to make it work. Yes.
What's your dream?
So, to do true crime, I definitely want to grow my platform. I think that would be awesome. I do want to get to the point where, Brian Ensign and all them are. They're the kings of true crime. Actually, JLR Investigates was up here, and I'm so pissed I missed him. He was driving up at the scene. I noticed he was there, but we must have just missed each other. But yeah, go figure. I'd love to meet him. I thought that would have been awesome. But I'd like to get up there. That'd be great, and be at that level. But we shall see. I do have a question for you really quick. It's so random, and I highly doubt it because there's a million Carters on this earth. Are you related to Nick Carter from the Backstreet Boys? I knew it.
If you could trade places with anybody for one day, who would it be?
Oh, wow. Trade places with someone. That's a good question. I'm trying to think. Probably, I don't know, a superstar. I'd like to know what their life is like.
Fair.
They have a fun life. They get to, party and do fun things all the time.
It seems fun, but I'm sure it has plenty of problems too.
Yeah, they have a lot of problems. Who would you trade places with?
Probably Simon Squibb.
Yeah?
Oh, do you know who that is?
No. Why?
He's an angel investor, bro. He's like my hero, man. If I could do what he does every day of my life, I'd be happy. He just goes around asking people what their dream is, and he gives them however much money they need or connects them with the people they need to start their business or whatever. It's amazing.
He's a YouTuber, right?
Yeah.
I think I've seen him, actually. Yeah. That's amazing.
I'm actually working on booking an interview with him. I'm real excited about it.
I would like to be someone, I want to have an impact on people's life, like a positive way. I always try to do, good things behind the scenes and stuff, but definitely like what you said too, I'd like to have good impact on people's lives.
No doubt.
Just do things and help people, okay.
What's the best compliment that you ever got?
For my restaurant, everybody loves it. They always say compliments. True crime, recently people have been saying that I'm doing amazing, which actually means a lot, because when you first start out at doing something, you critique yourself all the time, and you're like, should I really be doing this? Should I not? I have my career already. This is just something I do on the side, and you really critique yourself continuously. But the people that give me the positive reinforcement about it make me want to do it still. So that's definitely a very positive and compliments that I love.
I totally relate to that.
Yes, for sure.
What's the worst piece of advice that you've ever gotten?
The worst piece of advice. Trying to think. When the police told me to go back to sleep, that guy was miles and miles away. He was not miles away. That is the worst piece of advice right there. No, he said to get some sleep. That right there is the worst piece of advice. Yeah, I knew the guy was still close by.
Fantastic answer. Fantastic answer.
Definitely.
Do you have any stories? Do you have any stories from all the time that you were practicing law and then NYPD and then this and the hospital? Do you have any stories you want to tell from that time?
So yeah, there's so many crazy stories when you work in the ER and trauma. I had one patient before, I can't obviously say their names and stuff, but they're sad ones, actually. I have a really heartwarming story that it always fits with me. It always has. There was a guy who came in, he had broken both of his legs, his arms. I guess he got hit while going out to get the mail. Anyways, I noticed he was my patient, and I noticed no one would visit him ever. He never had any visitors, and it broke my heart. And I'm a sympathetic, I'm just like a little loving soul. I always have to be good to people. And this guy never had anybody. So one day when it was when I'd normally be snacking, I'm always eating stuff. I went into his room and I just held his hand and just let him know that someone was there. And I just wanted him to feel loved and just know that, despite the fact that no one was coming in to see him, that someone was there and someone, wanted him to feel loved. And he was also blind. He had seeing issues. And I just remember, he looked up towards me. I know he couldn't see me, but he smiled the biggest smile. And he didn't smile once since he's been in there. And it just I could cry thinking about it. It just, and then the saddest part is when he smiled, a tear fell from his eyes. And I just knew that he felt loved in the moment, and that he finally felt like someone cared, and that someone was there. And that definitely was a story of mine where.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
For sure.
If you could go back and tell your younger self anything, what would it be?
Oh my God, everything. So many things. Oh my God. I actually moved to New York City for a while, a long time. I would not go there, that's for sure. I don't know, I'm trying to think.
Why not New York?
What was that?
Why not New York City?
I moved down there and it was just, I love the city, don't get me wrong, but it just, I don't know, it wasn't for me. I had to move back. I moved back here. I would have told myself, so originally after I graduated high school, my plan was to move to California and I was going to do that. And then because I moved to the city, I didn't. And that's the reasoning. I wish I did move to Cali instead. I'm more of a, beachy girl. And but if I did move there, that my life wouldn't be the way it is. So I'm thankful everything turned out the way it is.
For sure. Do you have anything coming up you want to talk about?
Actually, yeah. So I'm actually going to be doing tons of cases that are of the missing people around this area. After Charlotte Cena, she went missing. I started to dig up all of the missing person cases and unsolved mysteries in this area. And there is tons of people that are unaccounted for and unsolved mysteries in this, right in the immediate area that she was found. And so I'm going to be going through each and every one of those cases and doing a segment on them, as well as this is a big thing I'm going to be doing soon, is walking down the actual railroad tracks as I film that Craig Freer went missing from. I'm not going to say when, you don't know who's watching. I don't want to get killed myself or kidnapped. But I'm going to be walking down the railroad tracks where he went missing. I'm going to be filming Suzanne Lyle, the girl who went missing from Albany. She actually has connections to Rowland Street, where all these other cases are, so where they happened. So look out for those on my YouTube channels and also my Instagram. On my Instagram, I'm continuously putting updates as well for cases that are happening right now. I did it with a Charlotte Cena, Brian Koberger, all of them. So keep an eye out.
First of all, when you go down those train tracks, bring somebody with you, please.
I am. I'm not that bold. I'm actually going to film the other areas, but I have people going with me. No way. It's still an unsolved case, so I don't want to end up on my own channel.
Honestly, I'm terrified but excited to see what you find from investigating all those crimes in the area, because it seems like it's your calling. I mean, who better to investigate it than you? And I mean, who else could have noticed it?
Tell you, this is crazy. So you need to hear this. So yesterday, I was actually I was messaging someone about the Jennifer Hammond case. Right? I'm not even kidding you. I can't make this up.
Do you have anything before we end it? Do you have any kind of life advice, any sentiment you want to leave anybody watching?
Yes, I feel like everyone should always be kind to everybody. I feel like these days there's too many Karens out there, people that are just so judgmental, that just really don't have sympathy, empathy, or kindness towards others. I feel like everybody should just, every day try to smile at strangers, compliment strangers, just compliment your family, compliment friends, to be there for other people. I'm very strong about that. I feel like people should definitely be kinder in the world. I feel like the world's become definitely a darker place lately, and people should just spread more joy and happiness. And I feel like if one person does it and sees one person do it, then the other person's going to do it, and it's just going to be a domino effect of good things.
Oh yeah, so much appreciate your time. This has been Character Asked It with Stacey. We're behind the bars. Follow her up, hit her up. I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.
The most prestigious network in the land, the Signature Series Network.